I say Randy Ollis. You say?
Authentic. Randy is in a line of work where, you know this, so many people spend their whole careers trying to be something they're not. Randy is exactly who you think he is. The things that he says on TV are important to him are in his heart. The things that get under his skin, actually, we talk about a lot. And he loves puns. That's not some shtick. He's authentic.
I say Randy Ollis. You say?
Donuts. Classy. Confident. Composed. Authentic. Randy Ollis.
Egg salad sandwich. Egg salad sandwich or onions, either one.
Randy's all right. I mean, he's the most golden-souled, good-hearted, generous, hardworking person you'll meet, but he's all right.
I'll take it.
Good. He is just a good person. What you see is what you get with him on and off the camera, and everything about him, from his home life to what he brings to Wish TV, he just encompasses that word so much. He lives a pure lifestyle, and he brings happiness and joy to his daily routine. And he is very routinized, and he's very scheduled as far as those daily habits. And I think that brings just a wealth of stability to his goodness, which is so much appreciated, and it just makes you fall in love with him immediately. There was another one I wanted to use too. Okay, so if there were two words I could choose to describe Randy Ollis, it would be first good and then simple. Because he truly is the simplest man I know and finds joy in everything. He's happy and content. He has a wonderful perspective on what's important in life. And that kind of goes back to his tribute of being good. It was really hard for me to choose, but I think those two words for him just really go hand in hand.
Oh, hey guys. All right, so what do I think of when I think Randy Ollis? Extremely handsome, obviously. Tall, and a very, very serious forecaster. I mean, when you talk about serious weather, Randy Ollis is the first person that comes to mind. Yes.
When I think of something that reminds me of Randy Ollis, it's serious forecaster. Is that what you want me to say? Okay. Serious forecaster. Yeah, and I have better hair than Phil Sanchez.
He's what you see is what you get. I mean, he's been on the air here over 30 years, over 40, 4 decades everywhere. The camera doesn't lie. And he's really a good guy. I've never seen him terribly upset, and I've known him for a long time. He is a good inspiration for people who want to be maybe a broadcaster or a meteorologist. He stays in his lane, but he also reaches out. He has a lot of faith, and he has a lot of trust in humanity. And that shows through. So yes, he also loves his job, but he really likes people. It's a good thing.
Tell me how Randy has impacted your life.
Well, he saved my life. Darn near got crushed by a basketball goal. Let me take you to my house.
10 years ago, lacking any strength or sense, Randy and I decided to put that up at my house. It's 700 pounds. We thought we could do it alone. I got to about here and realized I couldn't go up or down, and really was about to crush myself with it. If I dropped it, it was going to land on my head, and you'd have to look for somebody else to do bad puns with Randy. Randy, finding strength that he didn't have a minute earlier, runs over here, pushes the pole up in place like Sisyphus with the rock, gets the whole works up in place. Now my kids have a basketball goal, and I'm not dead.
Randy, if you remember this, on my first day at Wish TV, we talked about how we both worked at the same television station in Dayton, Ohio, and then we found out that we lived pretty much in the exact same spot within about a couple blocks of each other. And I want to point out to everyone that you lived near a donut shop, Bill's Donuts. Anyone surprised by that?
Favorite memory that you have with Randy Ollis?
I have so many with Randy. Of course, I worked with him and Dave Barris when they were both here together, and it was just fun to watch their camaraderie and true brotherhood and love for each other. And I thought it was such a good example of how to work as a team. And so I loved watching that. But for me personally, seeing the joy in his lives as our Wish TV family grew, and being able to tell him that I was expecting my first child and then my second, he's really watched me become a woman and transition into a totally different phase in life. And he was always there to provide, again, that solid perspective and make sure I was kind of had my head on straight and was prioritizing, okay, Kylie, that doesn't matter, focus, you have a healthy baby and it's so beautiful. And of course, he's quick to tear up and cry and feel those emotions for you and your happiness. And it was always a pleasure to welcome him into those celebratory moments. And then, of course, subsequently, after that, he was always, as soon as I had Joaquin, on air, at least once a week, so Kylie, are you pregnant? You having another one? And we was like, Randy, you don't ask a woman that. But he just got a kick out of it. He's like, what, are you pregnant, Kylie? No, Randy, not yet. But then one day I was able to say, yep, actually I am.
This is actually a recent one, and he always hangs on to funny words that I say in a traffic forecast or in a forecast in general, and he loves the word hues. And people at home probably have no idea why he enjoys that word so much, and then every single time he says it, he references me, but it's just because it's such an off-the-wall word, and we describe it when, like, the sunrise happens. So when I used hues, he was on the ground just like, what? Why would you use that word? And I'm just like, it's a word, Randy. And so now he uses it all the time. And every single time he uses it, he looks over at me and goes, Hughes. And nobody knows what the heck is going on.
Well, one is, believe it or not, in 1983, 1984, I was the weather girl. I'm not a meteorologist, but I was a weather girl here. And he was always kind to me because we were just getting into computers. I'm no techie. I'm the talkie. So he helped, even way back then, he was helping me with computers. And that's one good memory. The other one is his daughters. He brought one of his little babies on set and held her up. And I interviewed her just about 6 months ago. She's all grown up now and married with a dog, of course. So that was our pitch for the story. But here the first time I met her, she was like this big, and now she's all grown up. So that's a great memory. But all of my memories of Randy are positive because that's just his nature.
Is there anything better than when Randy gets the giggles and he can't continue in a forecast? That happened to us a couple years ago. There was a moment on air. I was involved in a blooper. It wasn't funny at the time, but then I looked back at what happened during the commercial break. I started laughing. He watched it. He's laughing. We're laughing so hard it carried over into the next segment. He could not get through his forecast. I had to leave the studio because I'm laughing. You just are crying to that point, and it's contagious. And there's just nothing better than that.
So there's a lot of fun moments that I've had with Randy over the years, but I think probably the most fun is you see some of it on TV, but a lot of it you don't see on TV, and that is that Randy is the easiest person to make laugh. And it's even more funny when he's trying to deliver a forecast. Just a funny sound, a look, something. You can get him going, and once you just get over that threshold, he's not coming back, and he is laughing the entire way. Sorry, producers. He's going for 5 minutes on weather because he's going to be laughing the entire way out. But that's my favorite stories with Randy. It's just fun. We laugh the whole time.
My favorite Randy Ollis moment. Well, I worked midday with Randy for a couple of years, and some of the best moments that I remember is trying to make him laugh. Like I said, he's a very serious weather forecaster. He's trying to make him laugh during his forecast. He had been working all morning long, and he was tired and done with the day. And Marcus Bailey and I would, when he would be in there, just try to make him crack up. We'd throw things at him, and oh God, management's probably gonna see this now. We'd roll tape over to him. Anything we could get just to get him to lose it during his forecast. That's probably one of my fondest memories.
How has Randy impacted you as Patty Spittler individually?
Well, we've all been through struggles. I've had my struggles myself, and he's always been very kind to me, never judgmental. I think that, and I know it's not just me, he does that for everybody. He gives us inspiration to continue with our life and try to do the right thing. I know he does a lot when we could do speaking engagements and go out. A lot of times he goes to encourage not only seniors, but kids as well. So do what you love what you do, and it's never a job. Well, maybe getting up at 2 a.m. like he has to, but if you do what you love, it's a wonderful life. So he's hit all the right notes.
And that's just been something you've observed or something that's made you feel?
Over the years, observed. If I ever needed a confidant to talk to, he would be there. He's not one to gossip. He's not one to throw stones. He is Randy. We need more Randy Ollis. We need a lot more Randys out there.
I think being able to recognize happiness and contentment when it's right there in front of you. And sometimes I think it's so easy to get caught up on what might be next or what's coming up next or what you're striving for that you forget to really just be happy and appreciative of what's right there in front of you. And Randy just exemplifies that. He lives it, and it's his truth. He loves his family, he loves his wife, he loves his kids. His grandkids, of course. He just takes joy in those beautiful moments of life, and his walks at Fort Hood and all that he does every day. He enjoys the weather so much and and Mother Nature's natural beauty. Just the little joys in life. He's given me a daily reminder of that I need to stop and take all of those in, and it really has made a huge impact on how I perceive those moments and hang on to them.
And he does give really good advice, and it's always very sentimental, and it's always just very sometimes faith-based, and I feel that's so refreshing, and it is so honest, and it's very eye-opening and understanding from an outside perspective. So he really provides just kind of that very kind and gentle advice when you are really going through something that might be a little bit more difficult that's outside of the work environment. So he's been very supportive kind of in times where I've needed it, and it's going to be, sad to kind of see that support go, but he's been really great and understanding, even with stuff that pertains to work too. So he's just been a very nice and very supportive role model back in the Mother Center.
Randy's an institution. We all have that joke that at some point you're going to hear, "I grew up watching you," and you don't want to hear it. But I said that to Randy the other day as a joke because he said one of his, "Yeah, I was here on Daybreak that day." And truthfully, he was on Daybreak in 1984. I was born in 1982. Randy, I grew up watching you. Okay, Drew. No, really, But Randy, knowing him as a colleague has just been so special. He's a leveler. You can't be in a bad mood around Randy. You don't see him in a bad mood. So in the stress, high pressure days of news, you can't be huffy around Randy. He just mellows me.
Randy, thank you so much for always being so kind to me. Every time I walk in, you always have a smile on your face, always asking about donuts, but also asking me how I'm doing, how my dad's doing, how my pregnancy is doing. You've been such a wonderful asset here to Wish TV and also to our weather team.
So my message to Randy is I have gained so much from being your coworker and most importantly, your friend. Obviously a wealth of knowledge when it comes to this business, because let's face it, you have 100 years of experience. But more than that, just your friendship. And I think the most important thing, as I learned over the years, was just your love for the Lord. And what I will always cherish were the times that you prayed with me and you prayed for me when things may have been up or down in my life. And just you and I sometimes cracking open the Bible and just reading. And your testimony has meant so much to me. And it's something that I'm going to take with me for the rest of my life. And that's the most important thing that I've gotten out of our friendship. And I'm going to cherish that forever.
On a serious note, when I think of Randy Ollis, first off, he's one of my best friends in Wish TV and has been for a long time. And I will say this, that when I started here back in 2007, I was a young, really, really green pup reporter and didn't have much experience. And Randy still treated me like everyone else. We had a newsroom full of veterans, and Randy still treated me with a lot of respect. And he didn't have to. He didn't have to, because I was really young, really green, and didn't really know what I was doing. And he still treated me like a professional. I'll never forget that, which is why I have a ton of respect for him. And also, what I've learned from Randy Ollis is how to self-promote. And what do I mean by that is this. Oh, look at that. Look at where I'm doing this shot from. What do you think of that, Rand? Rand, love you, buddy. We'll see you.